Welcome, Xbox and PS4 gamers, to the best game you're probably ever gonna damn play as far as space simulation and aircraft simulation things go. I say that with a lot of confidence because you will find out that this is going to be one of the greatest games you have ever played. So, I'm going to show you really quickly how to build a quick airplane. There is a lot of guides out there on how to get to space, but my specialty is airplanes. I do a lot of airplanes and choppers and, well, a lot of stuff in general. But let me show you a really quick build for a really stable aircraft. Alright, now for this video I am completely stock, so we're going to go ahead and grab our first cockpit here. Then we're going to jump over and grab some fuel. This has 400 units of fuel in it, so we should be good to go. And we're going to go and grab our pre-cooler, which also has intakes in there, so let's slap that on the back here. And now we need an engine. We're going to go ahead and grab the Weasley engine, slap it on the back there. It can be reversed as needed to slow you down. So now we need to see our center of mass, center of thrust, and center of lift, respectively. So now we need to throw some wings on here, and you'll see when I do this really quickly, the center of lift will come into view. Now you can either slap it in the middle there, or you can give it a bit of an angle, and that will give you some lift in the back as well. So you don't have to actually put a wing back there if you don't want to. That's good for longer craft. And it's going to give us a bit of stability on the glide. So now we need our main wing. And the placement of this, I want to make sure that my Kerbals can get out. Otherwise, I just slap it right there in the middle. But since I want my Kerbals to get out, I'm trying to get a nice position for this. And I've made so many planes that I'm going to use a few tricks here. I'm going to use a bit of offset. Now, offset can be triggered by pressing number 2. 1 gives you the editing, 2 is the offset, 3 is rotation, and 4 lets you reroute everything. So we're going to go back to 2 to offset, and then we can drag these arrows down and over in their respective directions in order to get the craft maneuvered around the part that it's currently connected to. And that's going to allow us to get this out of the way of that door, out of that hatch, so that way my Kerbals can get out if I do indeed want them to come on out. Now we need a winglet. The winglet's going to give us a bit of control in the front, and there we go. So that's going to allow us to have a nice little balance. Now you see our center of lift is underneath our center of mass, which is okay, but I like to have it centered. So for this one, we're actually going to center it. I have had my center of lift over top and below of my center of mass and have had no extreme negative effects, but I do a lot of weird funky crafts. So now we have our control surfaces, and those are going to allow us to have yaw, roll, and pitch, and then throw on our wheels here. And just pay attention to your center of mass as you do this, because this will throw off your center of mass ever so slightly. So if you have a craft that's really well balanced, like a VTOL aircraft, you do need to pay attention to that. And VTOL is not really that hard in this game. You just got to make sure you center your center of thrust on your center of mass, and your craft should VTOL as long as your thrust to weight ratio is around, I believe, around 1. So if it's around 1 or over, you should be fine. I think you should be good on a really small craft with this same exact engine or smaller. Alright, so by default it does have your throttle up a bit, so do pay attention. You can press Z to go full throttle, or you can press X to go 0 throttle. And if you look here to the side, I have my wheels. The front wheel is way higher. It's way higher than the back 2 wheels. That gives me a bit of an angle on liftoff, and it allows me to lift off quicker. Now if you grab this yellow area and click on this little pin, you can actually pin your details of that particular part over to the side. You can see here we're going a little fast. Okay, so now if we right click on this, we can actually control what we want to actuate: your pitch, your roll, your yaw. In this case, I'm going to deactivate my pitch because I have plenty of control surfaces controlling that. Now I'm going really fast. Now I am going to go here, hit reverse thrust. You'll see the engine actually animate, showing that the reverse thrust was actuated, and I will immediately start to slow down. This is good for emergencies or in case you need to do some funky maneuver. And you see I can just kick it right back over to forward thrust just by clicking the button, which is really handy if you do need to pin that. Now, my roll is really sensitive, so I may have to go and turn off some of my control surfaces or winglets to see how much I can tweak that roll to make it a bit more controllable. And this craft handles like a charm. It is absolutely beautiful to fly this one, and it has a really good control. Like I mentioned, it just has a bit too much roll. Right here we can give it a sharp pitch, see ourselves slow down, and we still have a good amount of thrust going forward, and we stay absolutely stable with this craft. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to get a little funky. We're going to go for a landing on the water. This is definitely possible. You just have to watch your angle of attack that you're coming into the water and be sure that you don't take it too sharp. I'm sharp right now because I'm trying to get down, and what I'll do here is I'll lift myself a bit and bleed off a lot of my forward momentum, or I can alternately use my engine and burn a bit of fuel to slow myself down by kicking in reverse thrust of this engine. And so right now I'm just going to go ahead and there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and burn this off. Let's go ahead and burn it. I'm not going as slow as I hoped I would be. Normally you could also use air brakes. They are very handy, but I happen to forget the air brakes. So with this reversing engine, I can just reverse it and then gently touch myself down into the water, and there you go. I don't think anything broke. Looks like we're all in one piece. Let's take a look. I think we're in one piece. Yep, we're in one piece. All right, nothing broke. Excellent. All right, so next thing is the liftoff from the water, which is not going to be exactly easy. We luckily have the front two winglets. Those front two winglets should allow us to generate enough lift up front to get ourselves off the water. Normally I would have some pontoons or something underneath my craft to give myself a little bit of distance, because those pontoons come from different mods that allow me to not get things damaged. But you see here I have to fight it a little bit, and with a little bit of scraping and a little bit of luck, I might be able to get off the ground or water. There we go. Whoa, whoa, there we go. Okay, so that was a little scary. Alright, so that's how you lift off the water and land in the water. So let's see about taking you over to the closest secret base that there is at the moment. So let me go ahead and disable that roll. There we go. I don't need all that. I don't need all of that roll. It's way better. Okay. So we're going to go and head over to this big island over here. And we're going to go ahead and full throttle it. And you'll see our atmospheric effects are going to kick in really quickly once we get this bird going really fast. It's not hard to get your craft going over 300 meters per second. You just have to have a good engine, a stable craft, because you're going to get a bit of shaking the faster you go. And you're also going to start to overheat if you go too fast. And what you want to do is either control that via thermal parts that are included in the stock game, or, well, you can try different maneuvers that you can bleed off the temperature by moving your craft in different directions, but I would not suggest it unless you have a really stable craft at high speeds. Alright, so here we are. Let's go ahead and reverse our thrust. We're coming up on the island, and you see there is a base coming into view. we are going to try to land at this base, but I am going to overshoot this badly right now. Yeah, I'm definitely overshooting this. Okay, so we need to bleed off a lot of temperature and, oh, well, not temperature, a lot of speed. And I'm also going to show you how stable this craft is when I go down and try to land this bird, because I'm going to have to loop this back around. So let's go ahead and let's take a risk. Let's take a risk. Let's get these gear down just in case. And we are going to do a quick flyby and then come back and land. So I'm so glad this craft has a really good glide time and a really, really low stall speed thanks to all the wing, the lift and the wing area. All right, so we're trying to slow ourselves down as much as possible. There are some pretty good techniques of wagging yourself back and forth to bleed that additional speed off the addition and not overshoot with the distance, but I want to face myself back towards the base, back towards the main base, and lift off the opposite way. So this is where we are going to slowly turn this craft, and this is going to be kind of a tricky maneuver that I'm about to do right here. But since I play with so many aircraft, I have picked up a few tricks. Now, mind you, this is complete vanilla. This is no cheats. This is just flying, racking over 3,000 3,000 hours in this game flying, mostly aircraft, and yeah, mostly aircraft. And there we go. We are ready to land. That was a tricky maneuver. With this much glide time, it's really easy. And now we just need to nail this landing. Brakes are active. Let's go ahead and reverse our engines to give ourselves a little bit of drop. Ooh, didn't even need to. Look at that. Alright, we're landed. And there you go. And that's a simple airplane build. So its game has a lot of fun, you're going to get a lot of game time out of this. Like I said, I'm over 3,000 hours, and I continue to play this game almost daily because I really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm currently working on an asteroid base, so I really hope that you go out, if you have not yet, buy the game, give it a try. You will enjoy what you are playing. And if you happen to run across my channel, my name is Jatois. If you happen to run across my channel, go ahead and drop in a link to some of your aircraft that you've been working on. I'd love to see them. And if you do get the time, check out some of the other videos I've made, subscribe, and share this one out to your friends. Hopefully I've given you a few ideas on what you can do and how you can have a bit of fun in this game. But until then, I hope to catch you guys in the next video. For now, this is your boy Jatois, and I'm out. Peace.